Hi everyone, I'm Bruce Swartz. Thanks to all new subscribers for stopping by, taking the time to subscribe, and thanks for checking out the research. I'm finding a lot up there on the surface of the moon, and I found out that there's some kind of a species, if not a breakaway civilization, up there. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. I had to redo this video, by the way. It was a 15-minute video. I lost it, and here it is again, even better. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're looking at a moving object. Yesterday with the infrared camera, I saw this magnificent object moving by in the sky. It took me 45 minutes to be able to capture it. Didn't see anything else moving by last night. It wasn't a very clear sky, but in the clearings, I was able to capture this object. So we're looking at an object that is like 80,000 to 100,000 feet up into the sky. The space station, as we know it, they say is in the lower atmosphere at 350 kilometers from Earth. So that's what we're going to look at later on, by the way, right after this beautiful moving unknown UFO object in the sky. We're going to see the space station just a little bit closer because I showed it really quickly yesterday and somebody asked me to get it back up, and with pleasure I will. And we're going to compare the size and the distances of how we're seeing that space station. We're going to go see how big, how long the space station is, and it's going to be really fun. This will give us an idea of size and distance. So before going to see the space station that I caught and compare the real image of the space station with what I think is the space station, this is an object that first of all is so high up in the atmosphere, well, again, the lower atmosphere. Imagine us not being able to see past the lower atmosphere. If we're seeing objects this small and at 350 kilometers away, 200 and some miles, whoa, is the moon that far? Could the moon be 400,000 maximum kilometers away, and that everyone, even with a basic telescope, is able to see it? I don't know. This is what I showed yesterday, the space station footage. It's really cool. It actually looks like, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen television in many years. The old Star Wars, assuming that the new one must be similar, we used to have these little objects flying by, with two net-like objects on the side, and these spacecrafts used to fly by and whiz by on the moon. This really looks like it. And we're going to talk about some facts about the space station, and I'm sure many facts that a lot of you haven't known. I know a lot about the space station. Right off the bat, there's 52 computers up there. That's aside from the ones that are down here on Earth interacting with the space station. Stephen Hawking's DNA complete profile digitally is up there on a computer, a supercomputer, most likely a quantum computer. Over 2,000 experiments have been done on the space station and continuing, so on and so forth. You have the largest object ever sent up into space, and of course, it was not sent up to space. It would weigh over 1 million pounds for sure. What happens is that they sent it up piece by piece. 357.6 feet, or in meters, 109 meters long. That's the International Space Station lengths. Gives astronauts plenty of room to stretch out. Made up of hundreds of major and minor components. Don't forget, 52 computers. The ISS is the largest manned object ever put into space. But on Earth, it would weigh like over 1 million pounds. But up in space, well, that's the advantage of being able to build it very large. The ISS has a pressurized volume of 32.333 cubic feet. There's so much about the space station that I learned. It makes its own oxygen and water. It has vegetation up there. They're experimenting themselves, I'm sure, on even animals. That I have no proof, but it's just my speculation. But they do have vegetation up there. They're growing stuff up there this is like a grow up in space, okay? I mean, they could float around, just make gardens over Earth while things go bad and then just come back down. When you think of it, a lot of controversy about how many countries are involved. I've heard up to 16 countries, but a few of them government space agencies: the China National Space Administration, the European Space Agency, the Indian Space Research Organization, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, and the Russian Federal Space Agency. Also, the Canadian Space Agency have all been involved and are all involved, supposedly, with the space station. And that's where all the funding and money is coming from, all these countries. All right, so let's do the comparison, guys. We're talking about a football length, okay? The exact length of a real football field. That's what we're looking at right now. It's like 350 feet by 360 feet long. Width and length, almost a perfect square. So say to yourself, it's also at 350 approximately, maybe give or take a few more kilometers, 200 and some miles, off the surface of the Earth. So we're looking at about 350 kilometers away at something that's 350 feet. And this is what it would look like seeing a football field at 350 kilometers over Earth. You know, to give us an idea of the comparison in size. Because it's not on the moon right now, the space station, obviously. It looks like it is because it's between the Earth and the moon. And that moon is what gave me the chance of getting this. There are many ways of describing the speed of the space station, obviously. And here's one way, a very interesting way. Oh, it only goes at 7.66 kilometers per second. What? That's roughly 17,150 miles per hour. That's about 5 miles per second. Whoa, 5 miles per second. Means the space station orbits Earth and sees a sunrise once every 92 minutes. That means 16 times in 24 hours. That's how often they see the sun going by. So, if you want to yourselves know exactly when and how many times the space station will go over your house, there's a website to be able to see that. I don't have the link on hand, but it's not hard. Just type in space station, where is it over my house, and you'll be able to write in the name of your town and then just know at what time it's going to go by. You will see it go by with the naked eye. It will be a bright light, but again, you will see how high up it is. And again, that's in the lower atmosphere. And say to yourself, that's 350 kilometers out approximately.